chịu đựng tai nạn Good evening, everyone. It's only 7:56 p.m. I noticed there's already quite a few in the Zoom room, but I think we will start at sharp 8 to be fair to those who are probably going to take me at my word. That will start at 8. Okay, so just another 4 minutes or so, according to my watch. We'll just wait out another 4 minutes. Unfortunately, I don't have any music selingan to keep you all entertained. But just bear with us and let's just wait for a few more people to come in and we'll get it started. Okay. Thank you for your patience and thank you for your kind indulgence.
Hello. Choices. CHOI. Right? Okay, I'll send it to you again in capital letter. Okay, okay. All right. Okay. They're ready. Is it silent?
Sorry for the delay, slight technical hitches. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. God's peace be with all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, welcome to this segment of Agree to Disagree with Haris. Tonight's segment I have actually particularly entitled Sembang Santai Bersama Pakar-Pakar Perubatan. Why have I decided to have this topic for discussion tonight? Just of all. Sorry, the technical hitches seem to be plaguing us tonight. Why did I pick to do this topic? I'm going to be very quick about this. In 1994, whilst in court, I had a heart attack. This is not a cooked up story, friends. 1994, whilst in court, I had a heart attack. I was admitted into ICU in a private hospital. After 4 days of observation, the attending physician advised and recommended invasive treatment. I was 34 years old. I wasn't too happy with the whole idea of that proposal, and I opted to discharge myself, and I went down to IJN to get a second opinion. IJN decided no invasive at that point in time. They put me on a 2-month medical leave, put me on an exercise regime, put me on a diet regime, put me on a regime of medications and supplements. I'm 62 now. I've never had that invasive treatment that was proposed. 2 things that I want to highlight with this quick story that I've shared with you. My entitlement to a second opinion. It's important to take note of this. We are entitled to second opinions, and there will be a diverse range of opinions amongst the medical professionals. It is to be expected. They will range from the conservative to the radical to the mavericks. You'll have the whole range. We are entitled to seek and receive those opinions, diverse opinions. Just as important, and with a view to enhance and enable this, we are entitled then, based on those diverse opinions we receive, to make an informed choice. I think this is important. I fully realize this after I've done a lot of research, and let's be honest, all of us have done this. Go to Google, COVID-19 vaccine, search, and you are deluged with information. As you start to go through, you begin to realize that there's some real Looney Tunes out there, conspiracy theories pitting themselves against others. We can't make sense of it. Those of us who have the energy might plow through all that material, and we begin to discover that, okay, there may be some credible information out there. But here's the problem. They are there and we are here. And it's impossible then to get up close and personal to find out firsthand, okay? So it was with that in mind that I thought, let's get local professionals in. We've been hearing a lot from those who give us a certain perspective. And that's why the poster that went out said, choices, choices, and more choices. There must be, there should be. If there are, let's hear about them, okay? Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce the luminaries that we have lined up for you tonight. All right. Let me start first. Panelists, could I ask you? I can already see Prof. Mustafa on. I can see you. Dr. Wong and Dr. Vijendra, could I trouble you to switch on your videos, please?
Yeah, it is on.
It is on. Oh, wonderful. Dr. Wong? Dr. Wong, are you with us, Dr. Wong?
Yes, I am. My video is on.
Ah, lovely. Okay, all right. Let me then start with introducing, first and foremost, Captain Dr. Wong Ang Peng, a researcher with the Dr. Rath Research Institute, President, Society of Natural Health Malaysia, and Director of Public Communications, Persatuan Patriot Kebangsaan. A columnist with the Malaysian Insight and often writes about health, economics, and political issues. He has written 2 books, Coronary Heart Disease, Prevention and Reversal with Micronutrients, and The Failing Heart. He has published 10 scientific papers in peer-reviewed journal, mainly on coronary heart disease and heart failure. Friends, let me tell you, I have had to shorten this gentleman's resume, otherwise he would have taken up the entire show. All right, now the same with the other 2. I would like to now introduce Dr. Vijendra Subramaniam. He's a consultant gynae oncologist at Makota Medical Center, president of MAFIM. Let me get this right, it's MAAFIM, Malaysian Association for the Advancement of, what's the F? Can you help me out there, doctor? Functional and interdisciplinary medicine. Did I get it right, doctor?
Yep, absolutely.
Right. President of MAFIM, Malaysian Association for the Advancement of Functional and Interdisciplinary Medicine. He has a very strong passion for the healing sciences and is actively involved in pioneering integrative approaches to cancer care. Last but by no means least, Professor Dr. Mustafa Ali Muhammad. He is a clinical pharmacologist and toxicologist, former professor in University of Malaya, and currently is a professor in Masa University and medical director of Masa Health. Doctors, welcome to this program. Thank you for taking time out. We've received a lot of questions starting yesterday. And I don't want to waste time. I want to get off the program because many people have many concerns and most of them are here to hear what you gentlemen have to say. But one question that appeared, and I answered it on your behalf, but I think I owe it to all 3 of you to allow you the opportunity to answer it for yourselves. And therefore, that's exactly what I'm going to do. The question is this, It came in yesterday. Kindly confirm if the speakers are in any way sponsored, paid, receiving fundings from any institutions, any sort of conflict of interest, or otherwise. Can I invite perhaps Professor Mustafa first?
I don't have any link with any sponsors or any specific interest. Nothing.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prof.
I declare I'm not being sponsored or paid, nor receive any funding from any institution or any sort of where I can be of conflict of interest.
Okay, and Dr. Vijendra?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thanks for inviting me to your People's Parliament and letting me through the front door. I'm really happy to be here this evening. I have no interest whatsoever with any financial gain, or I'm not here to promote any product. But if I can, I will just take 2 minutes of your time to say that I think we need to acknowledge the amazing work our frontliners, the staff at the KKM have been doing brilliant work. Tirelessly, relentlessly, this has been going on for the last 15 months. And we thank them because it's because of them and the robust health system that they have kept the mortality figures so low, and we can never thank them enough for that. Now, off the bat, I am not a COVID specialist. I have not treated a single COVID patient. I'm a gynae oncologist, as you rightly said, but I represent an association called MAFIM, which is essentially a group of doctors. We have about 200 odd members who specialize in integrating healing-based therapies into conventional medical practice. And we find this adds a huge value to clinical outcomes. And my sole interest in this session this week is I come here, like I think all the members of the forum, we want out of this lockdown, this mental trauma, the life that we have given up, and we want to get back our lives. So let's see how best we can, achieve these goals, and hopefully the forum will answer some of these answers for me as well as other participants.
Thank you, doctors, for this confirmation. In truth, I had already replied yesterday to this question to say, no, there's no vested interest on the part of anyone, myself included. Okay. Now, doctors, I have actually 3 questions that I want to put, one to each of you. But before I start that, firstly, I just want to say we are looking to do an hour-long program. Number one. Number two, if I can, I want to allocate as much time as possible to Q&A for those who have taken time out tonight to come and listen and perhaps get an opportunity to clarify any concerns they have. I ask one request, doctors, in responding to questions or even as you share your thoughts, one humble request: make it as simple as possible for us laypersons to understand. Please, I know it's a very, some of that area, the area of concern may be very technical, but we will be eternally in your debt if you can make it as easy as possible for us to understand. Boleh? Boleh, ya?
We'll try our best.
Okay, I want to kick off the session. I have got 3 questions. Short, simple answers. A short, I think, possibly yes or even no is possible. We will then do follow-ups on this. I want to start first with Dr. Vijendra. Doctor, assuming the state of the COVID and the pandemic has reached a proportion where the vaccine is imperative, assuming it's a must. My question to you, doctor, would you be minded to recommend to me the mRNA, that is the Pfizer and the Moderna, what they're calling the new technology, or would you be minded to recommend the old tech, using the old technology?
Well, as you can see, I'm very old school, so I will probably still stick to old school answers for now.
So I take it, old tech. We'll come back to you on this issue, doctor. We'll come back to you on this issue. My next question I am going to address to Professor Mustafa.
Okay.
Prof, in the state of things as they are now, do we have a choice in dealing with COVID other than the vaccines?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Answer is yes. And we will definitely come back to you on this.
Yeah.
Okay. My last question to Dr. Wong.
Yes, sir.
The other day I saw in the KKM infographic on Soalan Lazim, page 17 to 18, it covered this area called kesan sampingan, side effects. Now, my question to you, in the context of the COVID administration that has been taking place, is there a difference between side effects, adverse reaction, and serious or severe adverse reaction?
Yes.
Are there differences?
Yes. It depends on the context you're talking about. In everyday reporting, what the public and general perception is, they are familiar with the term side effects.
Okay.
No qualms about that. We all know, we understand the meaning of side effect. But when you talk about scientific writing or in research, in clinical trial, the term used is adverse events. Adverse events are minor, you can say side effect, but we normally in research writing, we don't use the word side effect. We say adverse event, minor adverse or severe adverse event. Then there's another term, serious adverse event, can mean only one thing, death.
Okay.
Okay, sometime in scientific writing or in official reports, the common term used is adverse reactions.
Okay, let me stop you there first, doctor. Let me stop you there first.
But it can be minor or serious.
Okay, I'll come back. We'll come back to you on that because this is an important consideration. Yeah. Now, Dr. Vijendran said if he was advising me, he would advise me to opt for Oltec. Professor Mustafa, Dr. Wong, would you concur with him or do you have a different opinion?
Yes, I concur with him to a large extent, but we also have to understand the pressing need of our society, of the nation. It all depends because things can change. Information comes in. We all depends on information because this new thing is novel. It's a coronavirus. Is novel. It's something new that we have got. The whole world got no experience. As we are more informed from clinical trials, clinical experience, and we learn from other countries, then we make decision as and when the time comes.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to stop you there for a moment. We'll come back to that. You talked about the situation. We have to look at the context and the situation that we are in. Dr. Vijendran, if I were to ask you to very quickly, very quickly, in a short manner as possible, share with us, where is Malaysia today, in your opinion, in the context of this pandemic?
I would say we are at a stage where, well, we've gone through several stages. We are at a stage where we hope with the rollout of the vaccine that we may be turning the corner.
Okay.
This is important because I think, as I said, we have the staff who have been really, working overtime and beyond the hours. And it is important that this provides that hope. But this is something that we have to wait and see. Okay. But this also raises a few other issues. Firstly, that the vaccine will be rolled out in several phases. Not everybody is going to get the vaccine today or tomorrow. There are some who are going to be receiving this vaccine maybe 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, much later even, depending upon the distribution issues and so on and so forth. So we do have a group of people who may not receive the benefits of this vaccine until such a time.
Right.
We also have a group of people who have issues where the vaccine may be contraindicated. We also have issues where there are people who, for their own personal reasons, may choose not to take the vaccine.
Okay.
Now, I think we need to deal with those individuals too. They too need solutions. We cannot just say, okay, wait until the vaccine comes. There's already a lot of jostling taking place among many groups of people. The teachers want to be ahead, the police want to be ahead. Everybody wants to be ahead of this, the queue. So I think it is important to also recognize that experience tells us, experience from many other countries, that there have been other effective ways that they have also overcome this COVID infection, primarily by using immune enhancing therapies. So I think there may be a solution for this group of people who, while waiting their turn for the vaccine, may be offered this group. And then there's another group of patients. We have now almost 30,000 active patients. Now, the vaccine obviously is not going to be beneficial to them, but the immune enhancing therapies could, immediately provide benefit. So I think we need to look at the pandemic from just a vaccine-based solution. We need to use everything that is at our disposal, and we shouldn't be restricted.
Okay, thank you for that, Doctor. I'm going to come back to you on some of the issues you've raised about enhancing the immunity and about the several groups. I think a very interesting point you've raised, that not everybody is going to get the vaccine immediately. So what can we do to sort of fortify them, so to speak? Yeah. But before we get there, Prof, I would like to ask you this, Prof.
Okay. Yeah.
How safe are the vaccines that are being made available in Malaysia now?
Wow, that's a very tough question.
Ah,
Okay. A lot of time I was asked this question. Okay. But I think you are asking the right person, because I'm supposed to determine what is safe and what is not safe.
okay.
I'm a toxicologist as well. So, okay, talking about vaccine, as Dr. Vijay mentioned just now, that there are two types of, basically two types, not really two types, but basically the new technology vaccines and the old technology vaccines. I'm very confident with the old technology vaccines, and most people seems to be like that. They are very confident with the existing technology that has been used for many, many years. So if we were talking about new, old technologies, I am quite all right. I don't think there's any problem. We have been using vaccines for life for many, many decades already. And vaccine is one of the best way to address pandemic, because you can't use other medication which may not work at all. Say there's no proper drugs for this type of pandemic, and vaccine is the best way. And I think that's why the government has taken the right move in the beginning to start vaccination. Of course, we fully supported the vaccination program, because that anywhere in the world, and all medical students, if you ask medical students, they were taught this way. Vaccination is the best way to address pandemic.
Right.
Okay, so there's no issue about that. And the second thing you asked about the safety. Of course, looking at the new vaccines, fortunately, now we have new technologies, and the people using the new technologies are very, very advanced. They use a lot of new techniques,
Right.
and new innovations that can produce vaccines very fast, very, very fast, unbelievable. It's very good. And this vaccine also supposed to be very clean.
Clean.
Because
Okay.
clean in the sense that they don't have the proteins from animals and all that. So I think there is an advancement in terms of that.
Right.
But looking at another one step further, this vaccine uses messenger RNA, where it is like a messenger. Messenger means somebody who carry the thing and deliver to somebody, and then the messenger will go. So in simple way, we are now worried that what happened to the messenger? Will he still be around? Okay, that is in a basic way, in a simple way. Will he be around, and then or will he be destroyed? Or if he is destroyed, will he die? Or will he be halfly destroyed? Okay, in scientific way, what I'm trying to say is that this portion of the messenger RNA can be also giving another form of protein, which later maybe the body couldn't recognize, and it takes it as another virus.
Can I just
Suddenly.
interrupt and ask you, Doctor? Are you
Okay.
saying that because this technology is so new,
Yes.
we may not be able to fully anticipate ramifications and permutations?
Not really.
Okay, sorry.
The work has been done quite well,
Mm,
but there are a few loopholes or a few gray area
mm,
that we are not sure.
okay.
As a toxicologist, I myself couldn't formulate that how to um, how to explain that it is safe.
All right.
In my mind, there is still uncertainty. I will not say that it's dangerous or it is toxic, but until something happens, we will not be able to see.
I see. Okay. So
Yes.
you haven't got that confidence level yet to say this is safe, Haris.
I will not say it's 100% safe.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll try to come back to you on
Haris,
that,
can I
Prof.
just a
I
quick
want to
point on
ask
that?
Captain Wong this, Captain.
A quick point. Can I add, just make a small point on this? Quick one.
Okay.
Very
Haris.
quick, very quick.
Very quick. Yes, I share what Prof. Musafa said, but I'm as a proponent of scientific advancement and scientific knowledge. If this current crop of mRNA vaccine is shown to be efficacious and also safe, then there is a lot of hope for future use for cancer, for stroke treatment, for paralysis. There's a lot of hope. So we pray on this hope, we pray for the success. But like what Prof and Dr. Vijay said, he's an old school. So there are a lot of unknowns.
Okay. I was going to ask you this, Dr. Wong. We didn't do our own trials on Pfizer. We didn't do our own trials. I think we are largely, correct me if I'm wrong, looking at the provisional approval given by FDA in the US. Now, is it common for, first of all, what do you mean by provisional approval? Why is it only provisional? Why isn't it full approval? And is it common? And when do you have this sort of provisional approval?
Well, in emergency use, when there are reports of death and a lot of damage, and the virus coronavirus has been reported to cause so much of problems, then there is serious consideration for emergency use protocol.
So why is this?
Because why is it provisional? Because they have not actually finished the phase 3 clinical trial. To finish the phase 3 clinical is a long process because you're talking about a few thousands of subjects and you have to collate, compile all the data. So that takes time to analyze. And it is not just you who analyze, there are also third party and other parties to analyze this. And for the government, in US case is the FDA, they have to make a decision. In our Malaysia, our own scientists in MOH and also NPRA, they have to study carefully and make a decision because we are all for the safety of the Malaysian people, which is a must. So that is why it is provisional because of the emergency.
So, because some of us have heard the criticism that this is still an experimental. Maybe I can put that to Dr. Vijendran. I hear the suggestion that, Haris, this is not a vaccine yet, it's still experimental. What's your response to that, Dr. Vijendra?
Well, normal drug development, vaccine development goes through many phases.
Yes.
And it's only once they have completed all phases of that trials that these drugs or vaccine are ready for use in the general public. As we know, this was a very much rushed affair, and there is no time to complete many of this, and therefore it is an ongoing process. So we are probably doing a phase 3 and a phase 4, concurrently, and the information is still being gathered.
Right.
We have acted on promising preliminary data, but what will be the final tally in terms of its use, efficacy, the side effects, what complications that it causes, it is still not known. We know what may have been the immediate side effects, post-vaccination, but we still do not have data on what will it be in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line. So in that sense, it is an experiment in progress.
Right. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, gentlemen, we are already 8:32 according to my clock. All right. There's a pressing issue that I want to address with you all before I get to the Q&As. And that is this. Now, Prof, you, if I recall correctly, said just now there are choices other than the vaccine. In fact, I want to refer to that letter that you and Dr. Wong co-signed that appeared in the New Straits Times, 7th February, where it appears the signatories to that letter were urging the government to come up with a plan B using ivermectin. Now, I know Dr. Wong also signed that letter, so obviously he's endorsed that. And maybe we can also quickly get Dr. Wijendra's view on this. But Prof, can you share with us, the alternatives to the vaccines? When, where, how, and what? Very, very quickly.
Okay, I try to explain in a very, very fast manner. Okay, what is important when somebody wants to prevent COVID, or if they already have COVID, what is the most important thing that they have to do is to boost up their immune system.
Okay.
That is the first thing that they can do, prevent it from getting serious. So the best immune system is the best way to avoid COVID.
Okay.
So that means our source of prevention should be boosting the immune system. And of course, in the public, outside there are so many ways to boost the immune system. There are many traditional ways. There are also the modern techniques to abuse the immune system. And there are also some drugs available, which I discuss later. Okay, conventionally, the normal way of boosting the immune system is to get the right dose of immune boosters. There are the right amount of minerals, vitamins, and some medications and food products.
Okay.
They are not difficult at all. Everybody can have access. There are also some traditional medications or preparations which suggest Habatus sauda or Nigella sativa, plus some honey and all that. But this is not a cure per se. This is to prevent getting the COVID, or if you have it, then you are only getting the superficial attack or superficial COVID symptoms. That means what you can do in the public, for the public, is to try and strengthen your immune system in many various ways. There are also studies that says that increased amount of vitamin C will definitely help to boost up the immune system. Increase in vitamin D. These are natural ways and also very, very safe and affordable ways. Everybody can afford and everybody can practice it because they are not toxic.
Right.
Okay. And there are also some possibilities of drugs that have been studied. This is the one that I mentioned, ivermectin.
Right.
This is a Japanese wonder drug, people call it, which was discovered in the 70s by Professor Omura in Japan. And this drug recently was studied in Australia for COVID purposes. And they also studied in some other countries as well. And the problem with this drug is that they are made for parasitic problems. They are not trialed or assessed in the beginning for COVID disease. Of course, there is no COVID at that time. And assessment for COVID was just done recently, and it is not a full-scale clinical trial. So it's difficult for us to go into the perfect approval of this drug anywhere. But as the vaccine is approved under authorized emergency use or whatever, why this drug, since it is already been used in some countries, and in fact in Slovakia they already officially approve it. But of course, we are not saying that we should approve it blindly. But based on the studies,
Right.
they have shown very, very promising results as a prophylactic. Prophylactic means to prevent the disease.
Right.
And they are also used during the disease itself to prevent further deterioration.
Therapeutic.
Therapeutic, and also a few reports says that they are used during the critical case of COVID cases, where within 48 hours, the patient recovered.
Prof, can I just interrupt you there? You mentioned Slovakia. Are there any other countries reported that are already using? Now, what about the US?
They are used intermittently in some areas, but not formally approved by the government. What we want is it must be formally approved. They are used in even in black market. People are using it everywhere. I heard in South Africa, I think they become very expensive now because people are buying it.
Right.
So there are avenues where we can have a two-pronged protection. Of course, vaccine is there, but there are issues that we have discussed just now. But there is another alternative which we may take it immediately. For example, if we can conditionally approve ivermectin, it can be given by doctors or by supervision, under supervision, so that it is safe. And it can help a lot. I believe it can help a lot.
Prof, can I interrupt you here?
Yes.
Because I want to bring Dr. Vijendra into this discussion at this point. I'm so sorry, Prof. Dr. Vijendra, you had talked about just now, the rollout of the vaccine isn't going to reach everybody immediately in phase 1. There'll be those in phase 2, phase 3 that are further down the line. And you were saying that for these people, it may be worthwhile looking into fortifying their immune system. Now, I'm going to bring you into this because Professor was talking about ivermectin and the other drugs, if you will, or supplements. Can you see this sort of applying in the context that you were talking about just now?
I think absolutely, Harris. Just before we move to that immune enhancements, just to answer your question of whether this is approved for use in the US. In fact, ivermectin has been bandied around for many months from the early time of the COVID crisis, but it gained, prominence when Dr. Corey from the Frontline Critical Care Alliance, testified at the US Senate. I mean, he made a very impassioned plea, based on the data. I mean, these are highly experienced clinicians who have published more than 2,000 scientific papers in the literature. I mean, this is not some quack doctors, who are ivermectin. I mean, they have studied it, and that actually was a spark. And then it became a nexus around which a lot more data around this ivermectin started to surface. And it was also the spark that led us at MAFIM to approach the Ministry of Health that, there's something else that we can use in the interim, because the vaccine was not available at that time. And the good news is that the ministry has taken that suggestion on board, and through the Institute of Clinical Research, they are going to initiate, if I recall, at least 2 clinical trials using ivermectin.
Right.
So we will hopefully generate our own data, but I think what Prof. Mustafa was trying to allude is that we have so much safety data. This is a drug that is so safe, known use for more than 30 years.
Right.
I mean, although primarily used for anti-parasitic functions, but it also has got antiviral functions that, well, why not? And there are a few instances that it can readily be used, for post-contact prophylaxis. Nowadays we are talking about sending patients who are positive, who are mildly symptomatic, to recuperate at home.
Right.
Now, the home environment it's a very difficult environment to isolate. What are we doing to protect the other family members, the other, people that they potentially may come into contact?
Very
Now,
good point. Yes.
an ideal situation to try and mitigate. Similarly, one of the biggest outbreaks that we are having is in hostels and factory workers and so forth. Big clusters of people. Now, although they generally have mild disease and they recover very well, but again, this is an opportunity for us to stop transmission by
Right.
allowing quicker recovery and preventing transmission to others. So I think there is a strong case, I believe, for us to look at ivermectin for these underserved people until they get the benefit, of the vaccine when their time comes.
Haris, can I add a very important point?
Yeah, but Dr. Wong, I was going to come to you. I'll let you make your important point, but can I first ask you, because you signed that letter, and in that letter it mentioned that the DG had said that clinical trials on ivermectin would commence. Would you know if it has commenced?
Yes, it was reported, and then the health DG has said that he's going to do the ministry is going to
Clinical
conduct,
trials.
pilot studies.
But do we know if those studies have already commenced?
If I may add, Harris,
Yes.
my most recent information from the research institute is that it is awaiting the MRAC. MRAC is the Medical Research and Ethical Council for approval. It has been there for a little while. I mean, I hope they can see the urgency and approve this trial. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that information, Dr. Vijay. Yes.
Yes,
Dr. Wong, I have a question for you, but let me have your supplementary point to what the other doctors were saying.
Yes, a quick one. Now, don't forget, in the world, there are more than 27 randomized clinical trial. That is very high and good grade, gold standard.
This is with ivermectin.
Clinical studies.
With ivermectin.
And then they are including observational clinical trials. Although some of these studies may not have power, but almost all have shown efficacy in terms of prophylaxis and also therapeutic benefits. And the important thing is that the mechanism of action is known. Ivermectin inhibits impotence and the intracellular transport proteins used by viruses to enter the nucleus and replicate their genetic materials. So this is the mechanism of action whereby ivermectin can stop that process. So even if there is variant through this process,
let me stop you there. Doctor.
Other variants.
Doctor, let me stop you there. I was going to ask you about the variant, so I might as well throw my question to you. How, as far as you know, based on your research, how efficacious can we hope the current crop of vaccines that are being made available will be efficacious with the numerous variants that we hear of coming out every other day? How effective, Doctor?
Well, we rely on US CDC said that for variants, the current crop, as we know, the current crop is just for SARS-CoV-2 for this original strain targeted for this. But when there is variant, then there's a lot of unknown. But US CDC said that they can modify the vaccine to target new variants. We hope they are right. We hope they are right. Coming back to ivermectin and even vitamin C, because vitamin C blocks the ACE2 receptor, angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptor. This is the receptor site where coronavirus bind to and enter the human cells. So the vitamin C and also ivermectin blocks this. Ivermectin also blocks the importin, the protein
Okay.
materials that the virus used to propagate.
What I understand that you three doctors are saying is ivermectin, number one, because it has been around for 30 over years, has already a history of being a relatively safe drug, number one. Number two, if I hear you all right, there is ongoing increasing evidence of its efficacy as a prophylactic and its use in conjunction with other pharmaceuticals, supplements as a therapeutic. Would that be correct?
One
In a
additional
nutshell.
point, important additional, it may be effective even for variants because of the mechanism of action of the virus blocked. So yeah, as for drugs, we do not know. We hope the US CDC is correct, but as far as ivermectin, there is hope to curtail the variants.
Gentlemen, I wish I had another 1 hour to offer y'all because it's been fascinating listening to y'all share your experience and your understanding. But I want to be fair to the audience. Now,
Can I add one point before that?
please, Prof.
Okay, why we were looking at ivermectin, first thing, the reason is that we look for safety first.
Okay.
Whatever it is, if you compare ivermectin with any vaccine, I would prefer ivermectin as a much safer drug. First thing. Second thing, when you want to choose something for medication, you have to choose the safest one first.
Yes.
So that is a logical approach, that you must get to the most safe one. And also effective comes in number two. If it is effective but not safe, no point choosing it. So that is the basis that we will support ivermectin as well. And another thing is we have the Nuremberg Code, which
Right.
says that the first choice of any drug should precede the one that is more toxic.
Right. Right.
So that I think to sum up, that is I wanted to add.
Okay. Again, like I said, if there is a popular demand, maybe I will implore you gentlemen to come back again on another night. But I would like to open the opportunity to questions that have been sent in to be put to you all. Now, friends, members of the audience, you can keep your questions coming in. I cannot promise that in the time limit that we have, all questions can be put to the panelists. There may be some questions that may require a rather long technical response. What I have asked the panelists, if they would kindly oblige with those sort of questions, perhaps a written response that I would happily publish on my blog on behalf of the doctors for you all to access. All right, so let me get to some of the questions that we have here. Let me start with Dr. Vijay, Doctor. This is a question from Tom Ng, and he asks, World Health Organization has recommended that vaccine should not be made compulsory, but an option instead. Is there any underlying reason that could be scientifically explained? Over to you, Doctor. As short and as precise as you can.
I can't read WHO's mind unless they have stated expressly why it is not compulsory. But I think at this current point, with the amount of data that we know, it is offered on a voluntary basis.
Right.
Maybe with more data, of its efficacy, safety, and so forth, and that might become a recommendation.
Right.
But I'm not aware of any other, scientific reason for that.
Okay, thank you. Short, precise, to the point. Other panelists, please take the cue from Dr. Vijendra. All right, I'm going to Dr. Wong.
Yes.
I got a question here for you. Singapore had a case, this is from Sanjo. Singapore had a case where a 71-year-old suffered a heart attack after the vaccination. But the Singapore Ministry of Health said that was not related to the vaccine. Other deaths overseas were also given the same answer. Sometimes we hear of heart attacks caused by sudden shock. How does one have to die as a result of this vaccination before doctors will confess? It's a nice twist at the end.
It's very difficult to answer.
Dr. Wong, straight and to the point, please. Huh?
Oh, straight to the point. Okay. The authority is correct when they say they do not know whether it's actually caused by the natural cause or old age or what. But from my perspective, my understanding of heart disease, because I published papers on this coronary heart disease and also heart failure, I want to look at it from myocardial energetics. There are a lot of energy, ATP energy generated in the heart cells. The heart cells are the one that use a lot of energy. But when a person is already so aged, so diseased, already a lot of comorbidities, so when you are challenged with chemicals, food, even mental stress, emotional stress, the person can go into shock. It can cause cardiac arrest. It can cause heart failure in that particular instance, or even get scolded. Somebody who gets seriously scolded can cause a shock and cause a death. You are talking about vaccine. You are talking about medication that particular case in Singapore is already taking. So, from the perspective of myocardial energetics, yes, the energy can be drained and the heart slowly fail, and something suddenly comes into that point, and the switch is switch off.
I have a question
but I'm not saying it is due to the vaccine. I'm not saying that.
Okay, all right. Okay. Prof, you were talking about the Nuremberg, is it declaration?
Code, Nuremberg Code,
Code, Nuremberg Code. And opting for safety as a priority vis-a-vis efficacy, i.e., we must prioritize safety at all times. That would be right, yes? Okay. So here's a thought then, Prof. We have Pfizer provisionally approved. Phase 3 of clinical trials cannot be said to have been completed. How then can we in all good conscience say this is absolutely safe?
Okay, talking about the Pfizer and with comparison to the others, okay. Of course, the Pfizer vaccine is considered safe. If not, they will not be able to be administered to anybody. But how safe it is subjective, because any drugs cannot be safe. Drugs has capability to do something to the body, then only it's working.
Right.
If the drug doesn't do anything to the body, it's not a drug.
Right.
It's just water, or even water do something to the body. But when we say it is a drug or it is a vaccine, it is not 100% safe. But they are relatively, one is safer than the other.
Right.
That is where our own judgment must come in for us to be able to make a choice.
Right.
And the choice is up to the individual.
Right.
You can opt for a new technology. People like to use iPhone compared to a Nokia or whatever old phone. They prefer new technology. And if you want to have new technology, there are advantages to that. The advantage in this case is that they are cleaner. The vaccine does not have serum and all that, but they have another material called propylene glycol. You don't know what is going to happen to the propylene glycol later, but this is new technology.
Right.
But the data is really not 100% complete.
Right.
And the second thing is the RNA itself. The third thing is that what happens if later the bread fragments or whatever start producing another type of protein.
Right.
And even the spike protein and all that can be exerting what they call it autoimmune action. But this thing does not happen 1 or 2 days after vaccination.
Right.
It may happen years and years later. Or it may happen when the person is exposed to the coronavirus or some sort of virus. So we are not sure. There's no data, and also we have no complete understanding of this.
Right.
That is where leads to us having some option or consideration to be made when we decide to take which vaccine.
But wouldn't then that immediately bring to mind the Nuremberg Code that you spoke about, Prof?
Of course, according to Nuremberg Code,
Yeah.
okay, you have to take the safest.
Correct.
But this vaccine is approved because of the need, and they say that it's for emergency use.
Right.
So it is already approved. So that means once it is approved, it can be used. But for personal use, you can decide whether you want it or not.
But again, I want to then bring the panel to this. Approved because there is a need, yet at the same time we are hearing from the US itself that private practitioners are at liberty to prescribe an alternative, ivermectin, with a cocktail of other supplements, etc., etc. So is there need such that, notwithstanding we are not yet in receipt of full clinical trials, we approve? I'm a layman. I'm concerned. I want to know, should I take it? I'm listening to this now. Ivermectin, safe, 30 over years. And as this panel has said, it can be effective as a prophylactic, preventive, like a vaccine. So where was the urgency to approve?
Okay.
Help us understand. Prof.
During the approval of the vaccine, ivermectin may not be in the picture yet.
Okay.
It was not there.
Okay, thank you.
So,
thank you for that. That's an important clarification, Prof.
Yes. So
Kalau tidak, my mind was running around the world already. Yeah.
I think the whole pandemic dynamics has been a very abnormal situation where
Dr. Vijay, I was going to ask you a question. Can I throw the question? And as you address that, you can also bring up the supplementary. Yeah? And this actually follows what the Prof was saying. Now, there's a question here. Because of the informed consent clause, every person taking the vaccine has to sign an indemnity waiver. And hence, they can't make it compulsory. However, it would appear that they make it difficult for you to live as normal a life as possible by their insistence on using the vaccine passport. You can't go certain places without this passport. I think the question is unfair to you, Doctor. I'm going to leave out the last part, which says, is such passport legal in Malaysia? But my question, I'm going to take the issue that's raised here. In the light of what we've heard, the Nuremberg Code, and the uncertainty around, the full safety at this point in time, can you make it mandatory?
My personal opinion is it cannot be made mandatory. I think some of the constitutional law experts that I spoke to seem to echo the same sentiment. So that decision is, not something for the clinician to make, but I think it would be a very unfair position to put a patient in, where it's not made compulsory, but his life is made impossible without him or her having the vaccine. I think that is a situation that we need to resolve. And the resolution will need to take into account how much this endangers somebody else. And these are issues that we need to have an open discussion. We cannot sweep these issues under the carpet. I think, civil society needs to address those issues.
Right. Okay, gentlemen, it is already 9:02. Members of the audience, for those of you who may have sent in additional questions tonight, and if your questions have not been answered, I will try to endeavor to get the secretary to identify them and see whether we can try to get some sort of response to your questions. I want to give each of the panelists 2 minutes. That's being very generous given the time of night, to perhaps wrap up your presentation and any last minute thoughts that you want to share with the audience. Let me start with Dr. Wong.
Thank you.
2 minutes, doctor.
2 minutes. We pray that the vaccine, as it is being rolled out, show efficacy, show safety, unlike in other countries as in UK and also in US, where there are slowly more and more reports of serious adverse reactions are already coming in. Some may be due to the vaccine, some may not be due to the vaccine, this serious adverse reaction. We hope and we pray that it may not be the case in our country. And as I said just now, mRNA, if it is successful, if it shows efficacy and safety, then there is also hope for other types of chronic diseases like cancer. But there are a lot of unknowns. But
Right.
Meanwhile, we implore the government to also seriously consider ivermectin, also other natural therapeutics as in vitamin C, used as adjunct therapy along with the vaccine as an adjunct. And what we want is to see Malaysians safe, so that the economy can go on and be robust again. We pray for the safety of all Malaysians. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wong. Nice, short, and sweet, and to the point. Prof. Mustafa, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. To me, I think we are very, very happy with the government's decision to provide the vaccines. That is a very kind of the government to provide us with the vaccine. But of course, the vaccine has its own inefficiencies in terms of distributing and administration. It takes a long time and very difficult to get it on the spot. And there is now an alternative. I would really pledge to the government if they can consider this alternative like ivermectin and some other alternative available to start simultaneously. That means a two-pronged effect. Start with the preventive, prophylactic, and also with ivermectin, as well as the vaccine. I'm sure this will be much faster. The effect will be much faster, because we can't be waiting for vaccine for 1 year, for example. Our economy is struggling. We really need to revive the economy. And I believe, this is my personal view, ivermectin can help a lot, because it will prevent and also it will cure. If you have the symptom, within 48 hours, you'll be out of the disease. So that hopefully will be good. And the second hope that I would like to say is that I hope that the Pfizer vaccine do not produce any undesirable effect that we anticipate. I hope, I pray for that nobody will be in difficulty after getting the Pfizer vaccine, because that is the first one that we have. We can't throw all them out. So if we can take the vaccine and hope that there is nothing happen. What we predict is not something that must happen. We are only scientists who predict that this can happen, that can happen, but we will not know because the data is not available. So I think if the government can help or can consider ivermectin or alternative immune boosters plus vaccination, I can see that there is a good, a bright future for this pandemic to be eradicated. It will not take long if we can do both. Yeah, that's my.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor. Last but by no means least, Dr. Vijendra, 2 minutes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. one of the dominant themes in the last 15 months has been fear. There has been so much fear that has been pushed down every level. People are fearful of everything. I can tell you hundreds of stories of what a level of fear people are experiencing because of this COVID. Now, our children are suffering. They are afraid to go to schools. Parents are afraid to send, them to school. Now, this is something that we really need to put into perspective. Last year, for the whole of last year, we had about 500, in fact, less deaths from COVID-related disease. In the same time, we had 170,000 over deaths, which means less than 0.4% of deaths were due to COVID-related problems. By any measure, this is not the worst health crisis this country is facing, in my opinion. There are far worse crises, from dengue and tuberculosis and malaria and, cancer, heart disease. Now, in 2020, in March, almost a year anniversary when this lockdown happened and, our life was turned completely out, it was based on many unknowns. All we had was Wuhan and the scary images of Wuhan. And that's how we formulated our many draconian measures. But we have more data. We have science. We have a health system that is really robust. We know how to deal with many of these. We need to ratchet down the fear. The fear level, I think, is not healthy. The mental issues that I think the society is going to, face in the coming years, I think is enormous. So the cost is not just been economic. It's not just deaths from COVID. There is huge costs from all these secondary issues. We need to look at a solution in totality. We waited 1 year for a vaccine. Now, what happens? We have a mutation that says, oh, this vaccine is not going to be effective. Are we going to go back into our caves and wait for Pfizer or some other, smart scientists to come up with another solution? No, we cannot afford to do that. We need to work on building resilience in our systems, building resilience in our individual selves. And that's where all these immune boosting therapies could play a role. And the immune system is actually able to deal with a lot of bugs. I mean, we didn't, survive this far because we had to rely on drugs. Our immune system was able to function. So we have to have faith and work on enhancing immune systems, especially for the most vulnerable people. And some of these are very simple therapies, like giving vitamin D supplements to the elderly, to the vulnerable people. And this is very cheap. It costs very little. And anyway, research has shown that vitamin D levels in a large part of the population are actually quite low. So there are simple strategies that can be worked with as we also, look at more impactful strategies like the vaccine and so forth. So I think we need a comprehensive solution. Our health system needs to embrace new ideas, not just look at single solution for this. This is a huge crisis. We spent something like 300 billion in boosting our economy. Now imagine if we had put this money to use in a different way. So I think we really need to challenge ourselves, think out of the box and ask real hard questions. Is this the best that we can do? So that's what I would finish off. And Haris, thank you very much for this opportunity. As I said, I'm not a COVID expert. I am also asking questions and, looking for answers. I hope the audience, has some benefit from, these discussions that we have had.
Okay, thank you, doctors. I just saw a comment appear on my screen here. 1 hour is not enough for 3 panelists. And the secretariat just came in a little while ago to say people are asking to extend it for a while yet, but I said I must check with my panelists. It's now 9:12. Would the panelists be able to accommodate another 18 minutes to see what questions we can get in from the audience? Is that okay with all of you? Because if anyone has got some prior arrangement that doesn't allow for it, then I think it will fall on me to try and get you gentlemen back on another night.
I think
18 minutes or?
we are quite happy. I mean, I'm quite happy to spend another 10 minutes.
We can continue.
It's okay with me. Yeah.
Prof, are you okay, Prof?
It's okay with me. Yes. It's okay.
All right, very good. This is what we call people power, you know, and very important that you must make your wishes known. Okay, very good. I have a question here. Let me just throw it out and see which of you panelists would like to take this question. The question is, are the vaccines safe for senior citizens with pre-existing heart arrhythmias upon exercise? I'll repeat it. Are the vaccines safe for senior citizens with pre-existing heart arrhythmias upon exercise?
Yeah, I will try.
Thank you, Dr. Wong.
It depends on what causes the arrhythmia. Sometimes it could be mild, so it's an early onset, or if it is arrhythmia accompanying other comorbidities, other serious condition with a heart that is already weakening, with chronic diabetes or with kidney problems, then it is a different story all in. But normally should be okay if it is just a mild case, assuming that the vaccine is safe and there's no question asked, it is proven efficacious. Yeah, it should not be a problem. But if somebody who is already chronic, long-standing, plus other conditions, then I would say it falls on the doctor, the cardiologist who is taking care of this patient, to decide, to advise the patient. It all depends on the individual case, how serious it is.
Okay, maybe I should just check with the panel, because there are quite a few questions about allergies and individuals who may be taking certain prescriptions. Now, I'm just wondering whether the panel wants to address these questions, or, as I think, these individuals should be putting these questions to their own physician or family physician, because they have a better understanding of the history of the patient. Would that be right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So those of you who have sent in questions asking things like allergic to penicillin and taking sulfur, I think it best that you take your questions to your own physician, your family physician, who have your whole history before them. I think that would be the safe. Correct, doctors? Huh?
I just want to add one point.
Boleh.
According to the CDC, if it is drug allergies, problem with drugs, then it is safe to take the vaccines. If it is due to food allergies, the peanuts or udang and you eat and all that allergies, then it is also safe to take the vaccine. This is according to CDC.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Otherwise, friends, these sort of questions, please take it to your doctor, your family doctor. Okay. This is an interesting question from Bunto. I don't know whether we are all up to date on this nasal spray. I think it is coming out of Israel.
Yeah.
The question is, with the development of treatments like EXO-CD24, a nasal spray developed by the Aikilov Medical Center in Israel with a nearly 100% effectiveness claim against serious cases of COVID, do we even need to get vaccinated in the first place? Let me see if I can offer that question to, yes, Professor Mustafa.
Okay, I will try to answer. Okay, and also I have something to tell the public, which is very important besides the answer. Okay, what we see now is that we are using chemicals to fight a lot of things, and these chemicals are mixtures. I will not recommend anything like that. Okay, one thing that I would like to mention here is that the disinfectant. We are using disinfectants
Yes.
many times a day if you visit supermarkets and all that. And if you notice these disinfectants, they have a strong smell, very nice smell. These are aromatic chemicals that are mostly toxic. They are synthetic chemicals that are toxic. And when you rub the alcohol on your body, the chemicals are left there. The alcohol will evaporate. And please be careful on this because that material is quite a lot on the hands. If you go to 3 supermarkets or 3 retail shops, you will wipe your hands many times. And these chemicals are quite toxic. Of course, the alcohol will evaporate. Try to get the disinfectants without the smell, if possible. Even though it is not nice smelling, only the alcohol smell, but it is much safer. Second thing is if they are colored. This coloring material will not evaporate. They will be on your palm or on your hands or on your body. And when you forget to eat or whatever, and sometimes they will not be washed out if we wash with water. So this is something that I would like to, because I take this opportunity for the public. This is a very common thing happening now. So using of chemicals, I will not recommend so much. Of course, there's the nasal spray. There's a lot of components that I saw. I don't know the detail. They are quite secretive, but I see that there are many chemicals there, and we don't understand the mechanism yet. So as long as we don't understand, we cannot recommend. That is my principle.
Okay.
Okay.
I can see, I think, Dr. Wong, you wanted to answer this question.
I just want to say, when we read reports, sometimes the vast majority of people, including health professionals, they rely on the media. So media sometimes tend to exaggerate. In a lot of time, they exaggerate. But the actual scientific paper, the researcher, the scientists behind this, a product, a vaccine, a drug, or whatever, they write the paper very carefully, without exaggeration. They are very precise in the language and they don't use rhetoric. Whereas when it is reported, the media or the person reporter could have got an agenda behind it. So I just want to say, be very careful when we read media reports and the actual scientific paper, which unfortunately not many people read.
Okay. Well, some of us read, doctor, and the more you read, it's like the Bermuda Triangle. You're getting sucked into that deep hole, and you get you are more confused than when you first started. This is a question that I see keep coming up again and again. I'm going to ask Dr. Vijendra if you will help to address this. Like I said, it keeps coming up again and again. Will the vaccine that is now being rolled out, we know what it is, can we be confident, or is there reason for confidence that it will prove to be effective with variants? I think this was addressed, but I see this question coming up again and again. So I think it wouldn't hurt to perhaps reiterate your point of view, Dr. Vijendra, if you please.
I don't think we have enough data to give a clear answer, yes or no. I think the vaccine has only been rolled out in the last 2 months, and we have not had time to really, evaluate what is going to happen fully, in terms of the variants and so forth. So I don't think there is a clear answer yet.
Okay, all right.
There will be some benefit. I mean, if I were to draw some parallels, when we used vaccines for HPV infection, for cervical cancer prevention. Although the initial vaccines were targeting certain serotypes of the virus, 6 and 11 or 18 and 16 and so forth, they found that there was some protection also against other viruses.
Okay.
So it is possible, but I think we don't know that information yet.
Thank you, Doctor. Again, I see Dr. Wong getting very agitated. I think he has something to say about this.
About got so many things. What I say sometimes may not be relevant. What was the question again?
The question was,
research. I'm very keen.
all right. The question
I got
was,
one screw loose. That's why I read scientific papers.
the question is, how confident can we be, and do we have reason to be confident that the vaccine that's being rolled out can effectively deal with the anticipated and the ongoing mutation with the resultant variants of the vaccine?
Okay, based on science, I'm just going to talk about theory, yeah, because CDC may say something, the vaccine manufacturer may say something, but based on theory,